It'll be pleasant with a high of 75 degrees, mostly cloudy with a stray shower in spots tonight, an overnight low of 62. And then we could see some showers, even a heavy thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. Some of those storms could bring hail and damaging winds. Expect a high of 75. We have cloudy skies around the region, 64 degrees in Florissant and in St. Peters, and clouds at 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
It's the Chris and Amy Show. Check it out.
St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today.
Now, Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Let's take it from the top.
It is the Chris and Amy Show. Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji. Good morning to all of you on Hump Day. It is the middle of the month of May. We are at May 15th, and we are just, we are just getting so close to summer. I can't wait. Our number, 314-436-7900. That's how you can visit with us today via call or text. Drop us a voicemail. We solicit those all the time. 314-944-1120. We're on the Odyssey app. You can listen live, listen to the podcasts. AUDACY is how it's spelled. Also, Cardinals baseball you can listen to live if you are in the listening area at the time. 98.7 FM, 1120 AM, social media at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everybody will be talking about.
Tashara Jones, the mayor of St. Louis, giving the State of the City address. We're going to go through what she said today on the show.
And guys, we've got a date for the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. That escalated quickly.
And the Cardinals are on a win streak after they beat the Angels last night, 7-6, which is a perfect time for us to ask you if you think they should go on a rebuild.
Ooh.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Oh, geez. Okay. So that was President Biden in a video that he released this morning saying, let's have a debate whenever you want to do it.
Any place, anytime, cowboy.
That's kind of how it sounded. So are you doing okay over there? I can't hear. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I was gone.
Yeah, you were gone.
I was looking at Matt and I was talking and I could not hear anything.
But you're back, baby.
I'm back.
So it sounds like all of this really came together very quickly because President Biden sent out what he thought was a good proposal, parameters for 2 debates. He has agreed to do 2 debates. He asked former President Trump if he would be willing to do it, since Trump had said in the past that he would debate Joe Biden anytime, any place, to which President Trump responded on Truth Social and said, Amy.
Yes. Okay.
But there's a fascinating part of this that we don't want to, which I think is part of the story.
Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move forward with how the debate settled on the date that we have. Then I'll go back and read the truth. Because basically, Donald Trump responded on Truth Social at length, a very hefty paragraph about how crooked Joe Biden is the worst debater he has ever faced, and how he is ready to take on Joe Biden. That was the gist of it. I will read it in its entirety in a bit.
In a moment. But then Joe Biden, about 40 minutes ago, tweeted out, I have received and accepted an invitation from CNN for a debate on June 27th. Over to you, Donald. As you said, anywhere, anytime, any place. So, and then we look up at the television and Biden and Trump will, in fact, debate on CNN June 27th at 8 o'clock Central Time. So the first one is
so weird. It is exactly like 2 kids in school who hate each other. It finally gets to a point where they can't take it anymore. And one kid shoves the other kid in the hallway and said, you want to do this? Let's go outside. Okay, buddy, I'll meet you outside at 3 o'clock. And then all the other kids are cheering. And then it's like a Christmas story.
Except in this case, there will be no other kids cheering because there will be no studio audience, which, thank God.
That's
all right.
His big thing.
It has been my thing for, I can't remember how long, years. And I know what's going to happen, and it's already started a little bit this morning where people who are President Trump supporters will say, Joe doesn't want to be in front of a crowd. And maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But I don't want them to be in front of a crowd. I don't want any debate to be in front of a crowd. I said it during the Republican primaries. I hate debate crowds. I think they add nothing of real value except it becomes a show. I don't want presidential debates to be a show. I want them to be boring. I want them to be about substance. I don't want a stupid crowd there. I don't want candidates on stage trying to deliver a line they think is going to get replayed over and over and get a cheer from the crowd. I don't want that. I want an actual, real debate between two people. And I know this is idealistic, but delivering ideas and debating actual ideas. And if there's no crowd, they're more likely to do it. I've been saying this forever.
Well, in a court of law, there are facts or situations that have existed before the current case that cannot be brought up because they're irrelevant to the case at hand, to the issue at hand, and they're considered prejudicial to the jury, right? Having a crowd, having an audience at a presidential debate is one, irrelevant, and two, prejudicial to the jury of the people because you have a president who is suddenly performing, or presidential candidate who is performing, making jokes. He can make a facial expression or she can make a facial expression that gets a reaction. And that does really, it creates a show, but it's not relevant. It's not substance. It can be, prejudicial to the people watching. And it should not be a show.
And I heard somebody, I believe it was from, it was certainly in Trump's world. I don't know if officially working on his campaign. I can't remember the person's name, on an interview this morning, who said that, well, they should be making the case to the public. He was arguing for there being a crowd. He said they should be making the case to the public. Well,
the crowd's not.
The crowd is watching through TV.
Yeah.
The crowd is there. They're just not in person. There used to be a time in history where there was no such thing as radio or television. There were no video pictures. There were no, well, there were pictures maybe, but there was no audio, where the only way to reach the crowd was to have a crowd physically standing in front of you. This is not 1800. This is now. This is we have technology. We have TV. We can see all of this. We don't need there to be 80, 100, 1,000 people in a crowd cheering and boo or whatever during a debate.
Even a television can change the dynamic because famously the first televised presidential debate was Nixon Kennedy, and people who listened on the radio thought Nixon won because you're only judging the speaker by the substance and content, and at some point the delivery to a point on radio, what they're saying, versus television. You could see Kennedy. You could see how he was young and suave and different than Nixon.
Wearing a dark suit that contrasted with the background and made him look sharp.
So people who watched the debate thought Kennedy won. So again, people who listened thought Nixon did. People who watched thought Kennedy won. So the TV in and of itself can change the dynamic because the human mind is bizarre. It's just the way it works. We all fall prey to it. My goodness, sometimes when I read the transcript of a debate, like in 2020, I would read the different answers and transcripts, and you process it differently when you're reading it than when you're watching and the crowd is booing or hooting or cheering or whatever it may be. It really is bizarre.
I will reiterate this. When the Republican presidential primaries were happening and those debates were going on, I said it multiple times. I don't want these people shouting over one another, trying to get reactions from the crowd. I want them to talk about issues. This is, look, when I talk about sports, I say it's a TV show. So anything that having a manager and an umpire, a manager freaking out on an ump and then getting ejected, that's part of the show. It's a television show. Sports is a TV show. This stuff should not be. This is real life. This affects people's lives. It affects all of us. So I want two candidates to get in a room with a television and a moderator and talk to us. That's what I want. I don't want them talking to a crowd and trying to rile them up. That is not helpful to the Republic. It just isn't. So I'm glad that that's how this one's going to go down. But there is, and we're going to take a break here and come back and get to what is one of the more fascinating things that has happened this morning as a result of President Trump's Truth social post.
And ironically, it literally has to do with us.
Yes, that's what's interesting
what's so
about
weird
it.
about it.
Not just us, but all of us in this world, in this broadcasting world.
Everyone in the world.
It's not just Chris and Amy.
Well, but it could really start. I mean, this could be ground zero for a huge ordeal.
Which kind of you started already this morning.
I did. It's already company-wide, folks. It is a nationwide question. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about this than the debate.
That's Amy Marxkors. I'm Chris Ranji. We will tell you what in the hell she's talking about when we come back on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Well, I'm also excited to talk to you about Andersen Windows, specifically Renewal by Andersen. And now is a great time to look at Renewal by Andersen, to give them a call, to get some information, not only because the weather is changing, and that's really when you start to see the shortcomings in your old windows. You start to see, oh man, these really do need to be replaced. But it's also a great time because you can save $279 on every window, $729 on every patio door with zero payments and zero interest for 18 months. Now, when you get an inferior vinyl window, you'll have to replace them again. So maybe you're going to save some money now, but you're going to end up spending more time and money to replace the windows that are just going to crack again and need to be replaced. But the parent company for Renewal by Andersen, has spent hundreds of thousands of hours, nearly 30 years, researching and developing Fibrix material. And they did that before they installed it in a home. It has the look and feel of wood without the maintenance. It is outstanding. So call them today, 314-720-9200, 314-720-9200, 314-720-9200.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-90000.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Visit our Summerlin community in O'Fallon, Missouri, located at the corner of Double D and Summers Road, featuring our popular Liberty Series homes. Your kids have a short walk to the best schools in St. Charles. Choose from 2- and 3-car garages starting in the 400,000s. We have 4 move-in ready homes that are available now with special savings. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
When is shopping for a car a luxury experience? When you step in the doors of Genesis of St. Charles and their brand new showroom, the first standalone Genesis showroom in the entire state of Missouri. They're proud to show it off. And when you walk through the doors, you'll understand why. And then you'll get behind the wheel of a brand new Genesis sedan or SUV, and you'll understand what all the buzz is about. Stop in today at Genesis of St. Charles, a quarter-mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-574-6468, and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s, but with extremely limited availability availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-574-6468. Call now, and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-574-6468 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-574-6468.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KMOX, where every crack of the bat resonates with tradition, passion, and the spirit of Cardinals Nation.
That, my friends, is as close as we're going to get. But well, we will tell you, to preface this segment, all you need to know is Michael Buffer, the famous ring announcer for boxing matches, sucks. Just sucks.
It's incredible. He is the most litigious person in the history of the world because he copyrighted
or trademarked
both. I think I don't know his famous phrase that he uses before boxing matches, telling everybody to prepare to do something.
Yes, prepare to do something.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and you're not allowed to say it,
and you can't say it at all.
We get emails. We being the entire company and every media outlet.
At Odyssey.
Yep, and media outlets. But we get at our company at Odyssey nationwide 4 emails a year, one each quarter, reminding us you cannot say the phrase, you cannot sing the phrase, you can't have a phrase that rhymes with the phrase, you can't have a word that rhymes with the words in the phrase.
If you have the Jock Jam CD from the 90s, I think it's at the very beginning of it, this phrase.
Mm-hmm.
So
telling everybody to prepare to do something that is very physical.
Let's get... we can't say it.
He was flirting with danger there.
Michael Buffer is one of the most litigious people in the world.
And you're like,
sucks.
How will they catch you?
And every time we get the email, I think, who the hell wants to say this anymore?
Yeah.
Does anybody care?
Right.
But people do because he sues. He sues stations every time somebody says it.
It's like,
so anyway, that's the background you need to know for what has transpired this morning.
And I will also say, because he has like an algorithm or something that scans and searches media outlets and podcasts. They find it. So you may be thinking, he's not listening. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's listening. He's got the technology to listen. They'll find it. He makes hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars a year suing people. Okay, back to why this matters. Donald Trump responded to President Joe Biden's make my day, buddy, comment about debating with this paragraph on Truth Social. Crooked Joe Biden is the worst debater I have ever faced. He can't put two sentences together. Crooked is also the worst president in the history of the United States by far. It's time for debate so that he can explain to the American people his highly destructive open border policy, new and ridiculous EV mandates, the allowance of crushing inflation, high taxes, and his really weak foreign policy, which is allowing the world to, quote, catch on fire. I am ready and willing to debate Crooked Joe at the 2 proposed times in June and September. I would strongly recommend more than 2 debates and, for excitement purposes, a very large venue, although Biden is supposedly afraid of crowds. That's only because he doesn't get them. Just tell me when, I'll be there. And then he ends it in quotes with the forbidden phrase.
Yes.
So I go to our...
all capital letters, too. So which prompted me to say, is he about to face another lawsuit?
I know.
Can you not...
You can't.
Can you write it?
I don't think so. not in an official capacity. We can't. Like, I can't put that on my Twitter.
So if you want to know what we're talking about, you can go find Donald Trump's Truth Social post, and the very last line, all caps, is the phrase "we can't say."
It's the phrase that goes before dun 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 dun.
Jock Jam CD.
Yes. Okay. All this to say, so I'm thinking this is a former president of the United States, a presidential candidate currently, who is specifically addressing the current president of the United States on a debate that will now take place.
Newsworthy.
This is the exchange. We are a news organization. I'm not a reporter, but I'm an opinion giver. And in a news organization, could our reporters say, we're going to quote this former president? So I go to our newsroom and I ask, and they say, I wouldn't say it. I'm
like 8 people in the newsroom said, no, don't say it.
This is a former president. This is a quote. I'm not using the phrase. I'm quoting a former president who's addressing the current president. They wouldn't say it. So I go to my boss and I tell him the newsroom advised against it. And my boss was like, no. So he calls someone at corporate who calls our head lawyer, who now is going to the general counsel. So far, every single person, including like this lawyer at corporate, said you can't use it because Michael Buffer is so litigious that even in the context of a quote of a news story, he could sue you and say that it wasn't necessary for you to say the word and that you could have just directed people to go read it on the Truth Social.
I hate Michael Buffer so much.
This blows my mind.
What a clown.
This blows my mind. The amount of money that he would like sue the company for
quoting a president.
For quoting the president. Because I get like
a former president.
You can't use it for our March Madness or whatever tournament we have, which I don't even think we're supposed to say March Madness, but you can't use it for your purposes. But I am quoting a former president.
This
blows my mind.
Really interesting legal situation.
So this has escalated to our general counsel, I don't know, in New York or wherever he is, who I think hopefully this goes out to the entire company. I'm very excited about this. I'm more excited about this in the debate because this blows my mind.
Well, because I came back into the office and you were reading this post. Mm-hmm. You and Matt were talking about it, and I was like, can he get sued now? Can Trump get sued for writing that out? Because I don't know if that's part of the thing. I know you can't speak it, but can you write it down?
I don't know.
That's a very interesting question.
But for us, we do know that we can get sued if I even quote that phrase while reading that paragraph from a former president.
Or the uncertainty on our attorney's part.
What a little tyrant Michael Buffer is.
He sucks, man.
Like for him to be such a tyrant.
To have this phrase that nobody has cared about for 15 to 20 years. And he's still arguing that I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's like saying don't call anybody a hooligan or a scallywag. No one uses those words anymore. I mean, I like hooligan and scallywag, but no one uses them.
Like maybe Fonzie should sue us for going, hey. Michael Buffer sucks.
What a doofus.
Have you ever seen anybody that's made a career on one stupid line? This guy's made a living on one stupid line that nobody cares about anymore. Anyway, really interesting stuff, I think. Hey, is Jeff Smith joining us?
He is.
He is.
He's been up all night, right? With that filibuster?
Oh, man. He's filibustering, and he's with us next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Quality windows deserve quality service. Impella Windows and Doors of St. Louis is here to make your window buying journey easy. Enjoy concierge-level service from knowledgeable advisors, along with windows that are tailor-made for you and savings that make a difference. Get 20% off qualifying Pella projects or 0% APR for 60 months. Offer ends May 31st. From consultation to installation, we handle all the details for you. Get started at PellaBranch.com/St. Louis. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
At 10:30, cloudy, 64 downtown at the Arch.
Decision 2024.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump say they have accepted a CNN invitation to debate June 27th. Biden announced he had accepted and said, "Over to you, Donald." Soon after, Trump told Fox News Digital, "I'll be there." Biden earlier had announced he won't participate in fall presidential debates sponsored by the nonpartisan commission that's organized them for more than 3 decades and held many of them at Washington University in St. Louis. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico is in life-threatening condition after being wounded in a shooting after a political event Wednesday afternoon, according to his Facebook profile. Police arrested the driver of a pickup truck after a deadly bus crash in Central Florida. He's accused of sideswiping a bus full of farm workers, killing 8 people and injuring another 45. CBS News correspondent Manuel Bojorquez is there.
Brian McLean Howard, the driver of the pickup truck, has now been charged with 8 counts of driving under the influence, manslaughter. Ernesto Ruiz from the Farm Worker Association of Florida.
To know that it was an act of reckless irresponsibility, it makes it just all the more painful how stupid and how easily could have been avoided.
The Cardinals clinch a series victory and win their 3rd straight, knocking off the Angels in Anaheim last night 7-6. Alec Burleson has a big game. He hits his 4th home run of the year, going 3 for 5 with a couple RBIs. Sonny Gray picks up the win, going 6 innings, though he allows 5 runs on 8 hits. Ryan Helsley gets the save. The series wraps up tonight. The Cardinals will send Lance Lynn to the mound. 8:07 first pitch. Our coverage is set to begin at 7:10. The Redbird Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Win big with a pool or spa at AlohaPoolsUSA.com. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
We've got emergency vehicles on Highway 4064 going west at Lindbergh. The right lane is closed. Also reported at Spady, the right lane is closed. Some road work on 141 going north at Gravois. That's on the right shoulder. Road work 70 west at 141. That's in the right lane. And the forecast is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force of Mid-America Band. May concerts and partly sunny for the rest of today with a high of 77. Perhaps a stray shower in spots tonight, especially west, low 62. And mostly cloudy tomorrow. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm with a high of 73. Right now, we've got 64 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing you free concerts May 21st, 22nd, and 24th, showcasing patriotic music plus Broadway tunes and more. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.com. That's afbandtix.com.
Hey everyone, Boomer Esiason here. The NFL draft is behind us and your favorite team is now gearing up for week number 1. The free Odyssey app puts you right in the middle of the pro football conversation with the biggest sports radio stations from across the country. The local voices who know your team the best, giving you their unfiltered takes on the current state of your squad. It's always football season on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Whatever electrical needs you have, repair, service, replacement, call on Reinhold Electric. A live person will answer the phone call and they'll set you up with an electrician. If you need an estimate, absolutely free from Reinhold Electric, you will actually talk to a live estimator. No job is too big or too small for Reinhold Electric. Reinhold Electric, for all your electrical needs in residential, commercial, and industrial, call 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day.
Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Hi, I'm Cardinals second baseman Nolan Gorman. It's game day.
It's the Cards and Angels tonight. Ameren Total Access 712. First pitch 8:07.
Let's play ball.
On your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on a Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, dude.
I'm confused. You know, the John Rooney, talking to John Rooney on Wednesday when it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's
everything's
very,
all messed
very
up.
confusing. Well, we are excited to welcome in someone who is very tired right now because I believe he has suffered through a 30-something hour filibuster down in Jeff City, and that's the executive director of the Missouri Housing Workforce Association, Jeff Smith. Jeff, how are you hanging in there?
We are on hour 44 here in the Missouri Senate. So I am, and I swore off caffeine about 26 years ago, and so I'm not doing great, but you know, I'm here.
Why would you do that?
Well, you know, they're trying to change the initiative petition process.
No. Why would you give up coffee and caffeine? What's the matter with you?
We don't care about the filibuster.
Yeah, I don't care about the filibuster. Why would you give up caffeine?
I guess you can tell how delirious I am that I totally responded to the wrong question there. I give up caffeine because I have terrible sleep problems and I wake up like every hour of the night, and caffeine just exacerbates that. So.
Well, Jeff, we are having you on for a very cool topic, issue that I know is near and dear to your heart, and that is a new budget item recently backed by Governor Parson that enables incarcerated people who are nearing their release to start their job search through video interviews. So that second chance, which allows people who have been involved with the justice system to get jobs, which of course helps reduce recidivism, they can start that job search early. What can you tell people about that whole process and project?
Yeah, thanks so much. And thanks for having me on to talk about this. It is an issue near and dear to my heart. And I am really psyched that there's a budget item, an increase in the budget for this program. And what it is a nonprofit called the Transformative Workforce Academy, which is based at St. Louis University, has employment specialists who go into state correctional facilities and local ones as well. And when people are in their last 120 days before release, they spend months, the employment specialist from the nonprofit spends months working with people to try to prepare them for successful employment. And it culminates, that training culminates in a video, like a 2 or 3 minute video in which the incarcerated person who's about to be released gets a chance to say, hey, here's my story. Here's my work history. Here are some of my traits that could make me a good employee. Here's my vision for what I want to do in the future. And here's the adversity that I've overcome, the mistakes I've made, but what I've done and how it's helped make me a stronger person and potentially better employee. And this is what motivates me to never go back. And then those videos are sorted by the nonprofit into different categories based on the industry sector that the person would like to work in, and then sent out in customized video reels to HR specialists at the companies who can then decide if they want to, potentially hire these individuals.
That's extraordinary because right now, so as it stands, if you are still incarcerated, you can't start that job search at all until you're out.
Yeah. And, one of the most vulnerable times in people's lives in terms of both in terms of like substance use disorder and relapsing, but also in terms of recidivating and committing new crimes is the first few months when you're out of prison. It can be a really disorienting experience. It can be especially difficult for people who don't have a place to go or a safe place to go and are forced to kind of go back to the same areas or people's homes where they've gotten in trouble in the first place, right? And we want to avoid that. So we want to get people working as quickly as possible. We want to get them an income so they don't have to resort to anything desperate like breaking into a car or robbing somebody. We want to get them purpose in life, and we want to get them socialized and around other law-abiding people, which the workplace is a good opportunity to do that. So there's a ton of benefits to this. There's benefits to the individuals, who are justice involved. There's benefits to companies all over the region that are looking for a new talent pool. I mean, I talk to employers all the time that are desperate to have good workers, and we've got a steady supply of them. We've got, all kinds, blue collar workers, white collar workers with college degrees. We got a guy named Randy who was so personable that once he was a doorman, and he started talking to Stan Musial at an event where Stan Musial was going to get an award, and Musial was so engaged in the conversation he almost missed his award presentation. we got another guy who's working at City Museum, and he had to really explain, in his job interview and advocate for himself because they were a little skeptical. 3 months later, he'd gotten a promotion and he was featured in the internal recognition process. So we got a lot of guys and gals that are capable of doing great work. We just need employers to give them a chance. So if you're an employer out there and you need to broaden your search and you need new sources of talent, just email twa@slu.edu. twa@slu.edu.
So a program like this, Jeff, I wonder about it because my impression of people generally, and I'm not talking about those in prison, I mean everybody, is that screw prisoners. They committed crimes. We shouldn't be helping them out in any way. They just serve their time and get out. Am I wrong about that? Is there more I guess support for them, that in a program like this, they would say, yes, absolutely, we want them to be looking for a job before they get out so that they can be productive right away? Is there more appetite for that from the general public than I think?
I think there is in society more broadly, and I hear what you're saying, but I think most people believe in redemption, and I think most people believe in second chances. I don't think a lot of people believe in like 9th, 10th, and 12th chances, but I think people will usually, give someone another shot when they're coming home. And I think that employers, like I said, are really in need of good workers. And I think that they're looking for opportunities where someone maybe has also some external support, the kind of support that TWA participants have, because in addition to the staff, there's also volunteer job coaches that work alongside them when they get out of prison and help them navigate the final interview and the onboarding process and help them in their first few months of employment acclimate, to the new setting. And so if you provide a little bit of a support network, then yeah, I do think people are willing to give a second chance. And I'm living proof of that. I went to prison myself and was very blessed to come out of prison and have a university in New York City give me a chance to teach again. An interest group in Missouri give me a chance to work on public policy again. So I'm super blessed to have had those experiences, and I want other people to have this, most of whom do not get great second chances in the United States, to have the same type of second chance I got.
Jeff,
and look, Chris,
go ahead.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
When we put people in prison, we tend to think out of sight, out of mind. But 95% of people who are locked up in this country are coming back to our communities.
Right.
So they're coming back one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, are we going to put in frameworks to support them? Because, if we don't, then there's a decent chance that they'll commit new crimes against the community. And we don't want that to happen. So I would much rather have people become tax-paying citizens contributing to society than feeling alienated and rejected and having to resort to illegal ways to get income, to get money, which oftentimes involves harming other people. So I think broadly speaking, we got a choice as a society, and TWA does, I think, really important work in the St. Louis region. in cultivating employers to help make sure that justice-involved people do have the choice to get on the right track and become big contributors to our region's economic fabric and also get their lives back on track.
Jeff, a quick question about how does the length of the sentence complicate the return to the workforce? I know someone who was incarcerated for a very long time, and the world changed when he got out.
It's a great question, Amy. The world has changed a lot. Look at technology, right? Like a lot of people, when I was finishing my sentence, I served in federal prison, and most of the people had 10 to 15 year sentences, if not longer. And we had a computer skills class just a few weeks before release. And most of the guys, this is 2010, most of the guys that I did time with had never been on a computer before, right? Didn't even know the basics of how to start a job search. So the changes in technology certainly affect those who've been incarcerated for a long time. TWA works to help people understand, like, here's how you set up email. Here's how you set up voicemail. Here's how you check your voicemail to make sure that if a company that's interested in you reaches out to you, that you know how to get back to them promptly. So yes, there are technological challenges that people who have been locked up for a long time in particular face, and TWA tries to work with them to help them overcome those challenges. I will say that no one should let the length of the sentence deter them from hiring someone, because the longer people have been locked up, generally speaking, the better off they do, because if they've been locked up like 20 plus years, by the time they get out of prison, they're usually in their 40s or even older. And age is a big predictor of recidivism or not recidivating. So the older people are when they come out, the less likely they are to commit another crime and go back. So people should not let the length of someone's stay in prison deter them from hiring.
Excellent. Jeff Smith, thank you so much, Executive Director of the Missouri Housing Workforce Association. You gave us that email. It's pwa@slu.edu.
T as in Tom.
TWA. Yep.
Like the airline.
Yeah. TWA@slu.edu. And this is if you're an employer who's interested in hiring people and needs a new source of talent. It's if you're a volunteer who wants to serve as a volunteer job coach and help one of our folks, or if you're interested in donating, like any nonprofit, we're always starved for resources. So just reach out to TWA@slu.edu. Thank you so much, Chris and Amy, for having me on.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Hope to talk to you soon. Go get some rest or enjoy the rest of the filibuster.
Or maybe think about that coffee.
Yeah.
I will get some rest at 6 p.m. on Friday.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jeff Smith.
See you guys.
Executive Director of the Missouri Housing Workforce Association, also former Missouri State Senator, spent time in prison himself. So he's very close to this and he cares about it. And I think he's right. Why would we not get people prepared to go back out into the real world in prison, or do everything, give them, no matter what crime they've committed, if we know they're coming out, let them be productive people when they come out.
100%.
It's not even a debate.
No. And again, the way that getting a job right out of prison reduces recidivism, not only because it gives you resources and a salary and maybe the opportunity to live in an area where you are not in that spot and around people where you were breaking the law, but you're also working with law-abiding citizens.
Gives you a purpose.
It's a purpose and it moves you up. So excellent.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Did you see this next?
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With MyLowe's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Saturdays are made for soccer. Presented by Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Catch St. Louis City Soccer anywhere you go on the Odyssey app. Or grab your friends and catch the game at any City on Tap location, bringing City SC fans and beer together.
Hi, my name is Bradley Parnell from St. Louis City. Saturdays are made for soccer.
Brought to you by Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, it's Glover. Right now, schedule your free in-home estimate, and for every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free, plus a free upgrade to triple pane glass, and they'll double your energy tax credit. 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
When you retire, you leave a lot behind. The daily grind, the long commute, and yes, even the alarm clock. But the one thing that you take with you, a tax bill. Oh, and did you know that income taxes could be your single largest expense in retirement? Good news, though. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group, they can show you ways to pay less to Uncle Sam with the right tax planning. Join Steve and the team for this exclusive educational workshop focusing solely on taxes in retirement. Join us Tuesday, May 21st or Thursday, May 23rd at Stone Summit. These events are complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Your best friend deserves the best care. That's why your pet needs regular checkups and preventatives so they can keep running, playing, snuggling, and being part of your family. Your pet won't tell you when something is wrong, so the veterinarians at the Animal Medical Center of Mid-America are here to help. They provide comprehensive, compassionate care in a fear-free setting. Give your best friends the care they deserve. Go to amcma.org or 314-951-1534 to schedule a visit today.
Transforming airwaves into an engaging playground of ideas and entertainment. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Are you freaking kidding me? No way!
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Amy, did you see? Well, first of all, the NFL schedules are being announced tonight. If you're into football, you want to know when your team's playing. But a few items will leak out ahead of time. I don't know if you saw that the Kansas City Chiefs, we happen to be the Chiefs, the home of the Chiefs here.
Radio home of the Chiefs.
Radio home.
Yeah.
They will be playing on Christmas Day this year
against
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
Week 17.
Yes.
On Netflix.
Exclusively on Netflix.
Exclusively on Netflix. So Chiefs, Steelers, Christmas Day on Netflix. And we also know about the game in Buffalo. They will play in Buffalo. That rematch is going to happen week 11 and I don't know what week 11 means. So
I don't know. So now, how
November?
many streaming services do you need to watch the entire season? At least 4, right?
Well, you need
Because
a regular
Amazon-
package.
Yeah, regular
Regular-
package.
Amazon
Mhm.
2.
Netflix 3.
Netflix 3.
Was there an Apple TV?
Not for football. That might be it. It might just be those 3.
I think there was, though. What was the one? Gosh, we were out of town in November.
Baseball. Baseball had been on
Peacock.
Apple TV. Oh, Peacock.
Peacock. I
Yeah.
knew there was another one. Now Peacock. So that's
Oh.
4.
Yep.
This is irritating.
It's so irritating. Remember, cutting the cord was to cut costs, and now
Yeah.
it is way more expensive if you sign up for
Insane.
all of these things. Also, Aaron Rodgers did an interview with Tucker Carlson. Did you see this? It's
Thankfully, I don't hate myself that much.
Oh my God.
So I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch a lot of it. I saw a lot of the quotes. And in one of them, he absolutely praises Vladimir Putin because of course he does.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, he's talking to Tucker. You did one of the most controversial, somehow, not to me, most controversial interviews in the last, I don't know how long. How did it feel coming back? Because anybody who watched the interview was like, number one, it was blanking awesome. Number two, Putin came off as an interesting, thoughtful, smart individual. And if you've read 1984, the base game plan of government control is you have to have an enemy and you have to slander that enemy regardless if you know anything about them.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he's saying that we're just slandering Vladimir Putin and he's not actually a horrible
Guy
person.
was literally a KGB agent who said the greatest tragedy in the history of the world was the fall of the USSR, and he encourages and employs Soviet tactics, aka war crimes.
He's a war criminal for
Yes.
invading Ukraine.
And and what they do when they invade Ukraine. That's like the torture.
What the soldiers do, and that he
Yes.
knows and probably wants them to do. He wants them to commit these acts.
Like mass rape of the female population of the countries that they invade is not a flaw. It is a feature of Soviet war tactics. This guy is a war criminal through and through.
Vladimir Putin is an objectively horrible
Horrible.
person.
I was just like, no, I'd love to see Joe Biden give an interview where he can speak on the history of the United States in the same way that Putin talked about the history of his country.
Aaron Rodgers
my
is
gosh.
so. Aaron Rodgers is
Stalin
one of those
probably
people.
knew some really good history.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Aaron Rodgers
Jeez.
is what stupid people think is a smart person. That's what Aaron Rodgers is. He is a dumbass who is masquerading as an intelligent guy. He really sees himself as smarter than everybody else. I
Gross.
hate Aaron
He's
Rodgers.
very,
I said I
very
don't like
gross.
Michael Buffer. I despise Aaron Rodgers more than I despise Michael Buffer. How about that?
Wow.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot because this guy hates Michael Buffer.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris.
Who's Michael Buffer?
He's the worst. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-574-6468, and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-574-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-574-6468 now to secure your $20 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-574-6468.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
1 minute after 11 o'clock, cloudy, 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Why did St. Louis police have a delayed response to shots fired Monday night in North City?
Around 10:45 Monday night, shots rang out on the 1500 block of Hogan Street, but arriving officers found nothing. 9 hours later, a body was found blocks away. St. Louis City Police Chief Robert Tracy says that several calls were ongoing at the same time this call came in, and the lack of information regarding a victim deprioritized the call.
We get shots fired. We usually get a few hundred a week. And then if there's a further call that there might be possibly a person injured, it raises the priority if someone shows up in the hospital. That didn't happen. We had several calls that were going on at that time.
He adds it is possible the victim was shot in one location and succumbed to his injuries in another, but cautioned this is an ongoing investigation. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
CBS News special report. President Biden has just kicked campaign season into high gear with a video offer to his Republican challenger.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Mr. Biden in a dig at weekly breaks at the former president's hush money trial. Mr. Trump has responded on his Truth Social platform, saying he is, quote, ready to rumble. He tells Fox the president's proposal for face-offs before early voting begins are fully acceptable to him. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
A debate in late June and another one in September, around the time many Americans start getting their ballots to cast votes early. This was a complaint to the Trump campaign as well, that the previously scheduled debates by that commission were being held too late in the process.
CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
For the first time this year, inflation has eased a bit.
The Labor Department says consumer prices were up 0.3% from March to April, down slightly from the previous month. The year-over-year measure shows prices tick down to 3.4%. So-called core prices fell to the lowest level in 3 years. After 3 months of elevated readings, the new report may reassure the Federal Reserve that inflation could be resuming its trend down to the Fed's 2% target. The central bank's key interest rate is at a 23-year high. Chair Jerome Powell said yesterday it will stay there as long as needed to fully beat inflation. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
A major gift is a big boost for Stray Rescue's new plans.
The Animal Rescue Organization has a new Dutchtown campus in the works, and they received a $1 million gift from philanthropist Carol Epstein. She's chosen naming rights to go to her great niece and nephew. The 4-acre, 3-building campus will include a humane education center for children, low-cost veterinary services for the community, and an expanded adoption and training center. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, Google Glass revival.
Was Google's
augmented reality headset simply ahead of its time? The headset was a flop with consumers when it was introduced a decade ago, but some Google executives now think it might be time to try again. There was talk at Google's annual developer conference about bringing Google's Glass back with new AI features. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
Dow from Stifel is up 231 points to 39,789. Emergency vehicles have the right lane blocked on 6440 going west at Chesterfield Parkway. We've got road work on 70 east to Goodfellow. The right lane is closed there. Some debris to watch out for. 67 Lindbergh north at the Missouri River. Right lane closed.
Turning out partly sunny for the rest of today with a high of 77. Could see a stray shower west of the city for tonight, low of 62. Tomorrow, showers, heavy thunderstorms. Watch for damaging winds and hail, high of 73. I'm back here with the meteorologist, Matt Benz, on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling. With spring here, it's time to have the preventative maintenance done on your AC unit. Call Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling to schedule your clean and check. They carry the Lennox line, but service all types of air conditioners as they have for 30 years. Go to ComfortSolutionsSTL.com. Cloudy sky, 66 Florissant, 67 St. Peter's, 66 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Your passport into a world of wit and wisdom and a splash of humor. Chris and Amy on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Downtown St. Louis, it's improving, baby.
This
By
guy
the minute.
is so excited.
At Union Station, there is a proposal to add rides, plural, I believe, to the area where the Ferris wheel is currently by Union Station, adding a few more attractions to downtown St. Louis. Somebody who wants to get this done is the chairman and CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management, Bob O'Loughlin, who is with us now on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Bob, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, happy to be with both of you guys.
First question I have is, what exactly is a teacup roller coaster?
Well, it's actually a roller coaster that spins around and does a figure 8. And then the other ride is a teacup ride that you've seen at Disney, where you sit in a teacup and it goes around in a circle and spins at the same time. So there's a difference. It's two different rides.
Okay. And so the proposal is there were 3 different possibilities. Are they all on the table to be constructed at once, or would this be a thing where one is built and that's it?
No, we're going to construct all of them at once. The other 2 we're considering as a wave swinger, where you get locked in and you go around in a circle and you kind of go out and then come back in. And the other is a pirate ship where 4 people sit in a booth and they go back and forth up in the air. And we're also going to do a 1904 World's Fair theme where you walk down a midway and there'll be games on either side and a giant slide. And it just seems to fit in with the wheel, the aquarium, the miniature golf, the ropes course. Everything we have down there has been a big hit. And it's been very popular for ages 1 through 18. And also our Polar Express this year from Thanksgiving through the end of the year did 87,000 people. So it's really set up for families. And we're excited about it to add these to the St. Louis skyline, so to speak.
That's awesome. Well, whenever you can have a pirate ride, my vote is always for the pirate ride.
I love pirate rides.
Pirate rides
like
are
the
pretty,
Yankee Clipper.
Yes, it's very exciting. But with the wheel and the aquarium, how is the momentum for that? There's always excitement when it opens, and then the question: how does it continue to sustain? Are people still growing and coming to to that attraction? What does that momentum look like?
Yeah, that's a great question, Amy, because that's typically what happens throughout the United States for amusement parks, that it peaks, everybody wants to go down and see it for the first time, then it levels off. And then you generally have a number that you stay with, and then you have to keep adding to it to create more excitement for people wanting to come back and try other things. And that's exactly what we're doing.
So when we have these new rides, first of all, how close is it to being an actual done thing where it is going to happen for sure? Or are we still in a proposal stage? What's happening now?
Well, we have to present it to the city, and they've given us indication since they've already approved the wheel and all the miniature golf and all of the other attractions that they obviously will go along with it because it adds to everything down there. So I think the next meeting is June the 10th that we'll present it to, and we're prepared to do that. Once it's approved, we will order the rides and start the infrastructure, and we're hopeful to get it open for the summer season, which would be June, July, and August of 2025.
And to go along with what Amy was talking about in trying to keep interest and have people coming out all the time and not just when it initially opens, how is the Ferris wheel doing now that it's been here for a few years?
It does extremely well. We do about 500,000 people a year on it. We do total about 1.5 million in the whole complex. So if you figure what the arch does, we're right about there. A little less than the zoo, but we all know the zoo is free, and you have to pay for these rides when you go down there. So we're really pleased with everything we have down there.
Yeah, I love seeing ever since Lodging Hospitality bought Union Station, 12 years ago now, and how it's transformed and how it's been revitalized because there's so much history there. My grandpa fought in World War II, fought in Saipan, and he took a train from Union Station to California to get on the boat to go all the way over to Japan. So like knowing that history there, knowing the famous Harvey girls were at Union Station, and knowing that you can still bring families there to eat or to hang out, to see the wheel and the aquarium, it's such a special treasure that St. Louis can't lose. We can't lose Union Station.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And I can't tell you, Amy, how many people have similar type stories. If you wanted to go at the turn of the century from the east to west coast, you had to go through Union Station. And everybody that went to the war, baseball teams used to travel on trains. And almost every day I go down there, I hear a different story, which is really cool. The Whispering Wall and the Grand Hall with a light show. And, it's something that we're really proud of. And I can assure you it's going to be there for a long time.
Bob O'Loughlin, Chairman and CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management, and we are looking forward to there being more attractions added to what is now a very cool Union Station. A lot going on there, and like you said, it's nice for me growing up having gone to it when it became the mall, and there were all those attractions in it, and to have it be something that is thriving right in the center of the city is great. So we're looking forward to more of it.
Thank you. We look forward to having you down there on the pirate ship.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait for that pirate ship.
We got to broadcast live when that thing opens.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you, Bob.
Thank
Bob
you.
O'Loughlin,
You
Chairman
bet.
and CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management on the Quiver River Electric Guest Line. As I mentioned, when the comedian TJ Miller was here and I went and saw him, his first, I'm telling you, like 35 or 40 minutes, he was just talking about the aquarium.
Talking about the aquarium.
Because he had gone to visit.
I know we got to go because we have a big Cardinals question to discuss. But do you remember the store Beatles for Sale at Union Station like 30 years ago?
What was it called?
Beatles for Sale.
I do not.
And it was just an all Beatles store. And it was like, it coincided with my obsession with
British
the Beatles.
Beatles?
Yep.
Okay.
And they had t-shirts and like paraphernalia and all this different Beatles swag. I would go there. I had like a ringer tee that had the Beatles on it.
Yes.
Yep. That was like my favorite store.
Huh. I don't remember that. The only thing there was a Charlie Spoonhour restaurant.
There was a Hooters.
There was
Casa Gardo?
There was one of those, there were other restaurants like the walk-up kind of places. There was one called Stuff and Turkey. That's what I remember. And now it's fish. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We posed a question to the listeners on our Twitter account at ChrisAmyKMOX about the Cardinals and their future, and it was perfect timing because now they're on a win streak. We'll talk about it next on KMOX.
Stop for a moment and think about this. Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money. But do you have a plan to help make sure you don't pay more than you should? At Fira Capital Management, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you've earned, which is why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So call Fira Capital Management today so you don't miss out on this opportunity. 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400. You work hard for your money, and we'll work just as hard to help you keep it. Fira Capital Management, 314-328-4400. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Firm may not give tax advice.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
I get asked a lot, what's the difference between the efficiency ratings and the numbers that customers hear while they're getting prices? Pretty much the difference is the numbers. As far as actual savings, there is a very easy common sense way to explain the differences in the energy ratings and the types of energy rating on the furnaces, what you can get and what you can't get, and what's best suited for you, what you actually do need or what you absolutely do not need. You'll be surprised and very happy that you called me. So call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. This is the only number that you need to call. 314-293-2600 or on the website Bart Inman. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Witness the story of a love affair that rocked two empires with Handel's opera Julius Caesar, running June 9th through 28th at Opera Theater of St. Louis. When Caesar arrives in Alexandria in pursuit of a political rival, the last thing he expects is to fall for an Egyptian princess. But when Cleopatra sets her mind to something, there's no standing in her way. Experience this steamy political thriller for yourself. Tickets start at just $25. Learn more at experienceopera.org.
Summertime is the best time to enjoy the outdoors and enhance the appearance of your home. Banner Construction can make your home the showplace of the neighborhood with maintenance-free James Hardie siding and beautiful Pella replacement windows. Drive up to your home with a renewed pride. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. Get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. 314-569-1050.
Losing your family's home movies and photos would be devastating. That's why Legacy Box exists, to preserve your family's recorded moments digitally, ensuring they're safe forever. Think of the time and money your family invested to capture family vacations, birthdays, even your wedding. Recording a lifetime of memories was a commitment. Camcorders cost thousands and cameras required film and development. Legacy Box is the final step to preserve your family's past. Thankfully, it doesn't require another big investment. Legacy Box is safe, simple, and affordable. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box to convert their analog media to digital. You owe it to your family to safeguard your memories. Become your family's hero and save them before it's too late. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering an exclusive discount when you go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hi, Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota. 2023 is our 50th year of being a Toyota dealer, so come see us. We're on Highway 64 in O'Fallon, Illinois, or check us online at newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Shortstop Mason Wynn, and you're listening to the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
We're going to give you the birds a little early today because we've got John Rooney coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Because it's Wednesday.
Talk a little birds with us.
Yeah.
Are you excited? I'm excited. The Cardinals right now are on a 3-game win streak. It matches their longest win streak of the season, which came to an end about 2 weeks ago.
I knew they would be on a win streak because when they won that second game and Nolan Arenado hit another home run, I thought this is it.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
We had Rob Raines on the show yesterday. And he started STLSportspage.com. He writes about the Cardinals, has written about the Cardinals for a long time. And we sort of got on the topic of a rebuild. And with the way things have gone, and yes, they're in the middle of a win streak now, but look at the season as a total. It has not been good. It's been very close to what it was last year, which was a remarkably lousy season for the Cardinals that they don't have very often. And now they're pretty close to what they were doing last year. And he mentioned the idea of a rebuild. And it got me to thinking about this, and I even brought this up. When I was doing the sports show here in St. Louis going back to 2017, look, they've had playoff years since, but they haven't been real, true pennant contenders, World Series contender type teams. They haven't really had that. And I even suggested, maybe it would not be the worst idea in the world that if they were to go that route and they were to commit to it, to do an actual rebuild, like what the Houston Astros did, which turned out really well for them.
How long did it take the Astros?
Probably like 3-4 years.
So 3 to 5 generally is what you're looking at with a rebuild.
You're looking at 3 to 5.
Okay.
They can start, if a team does it well and they decide to go on an actual rebuild, they can start to be pretty competitive by year 3 if they want to. By 4, they should be really competitive. By 5, it should be on. So the question is, and there was always pushback against me when I suggested it because this is St. Louis. We'll never go for a rebuild. And my pushback against that was, are you sure? Because people and baseball fans now are smart about this. They're smart. They've seen teams rebuild and come out on the other end and get it right and have teams that are pretty good for a long time. They've seen it work. So I think Cardinals fans, if it ever came down to it, would be in favor of an actual rebuild. The problem, and this is one caveat here that I will present, this particular roster would be more difficult to start a rebuild if they were to do it because they don't have a ton of tradable assets. I hate calling players assets, but that's kind of the way what they are. Tradable assets that would get you some good prospect talent in return. Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, you'd be selling low on both of them. And the other guys you'd want to hang on to, Wilson Contreras would be a good one. He's out. He's out for a couple of months. So he wouldn't be a good candidate either.
Are there any untouchables like a Jordan Walker?
No, I don't think so.
So Jordan Walker, Arenado, Contreras, although like you said, he's out. Anybody and everybody is on the table.
I think so. Maybe Mason Wynn, you probably want to hang on to. That's a guy you probably, Tink Hence, you probably want to hang on to. But again, he's still a prospect. He hasn't been here yet. So you don't really know what a prospect's going to turn into. They could be nothing. They could be great. They could be nothing. Even guys who are supposed to be can't miss all the time.
What about the Astros or rebuilds in general? Are their farm teams, their systems generally pretty empty too? Because right now the Cardinals, they don't have a farm system, team that's rich right now.
Right. It's not stacked. Well, I mean, you kind of have to build it up. That's sort of the point. So we put this poll on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. We want you to follow it if you don't mind. And I asked the question, would you continue to support the Cardinals, which means listen to games on KMOX, watch on TV, or buy tickets if they were to enter a full rebuild, which means they're going to be a couple of thin years, right? At least. So the options were yes, definitely, a little, or absolutely not. And this is kind of what I suspected, that close to a little over, actually, 90% of people were at least a little on board with the idea. Over 90%.
That's crazy.
Only 9.1% of respondents. And again, this isn't scientific, but we had a decent amount of votes. So it gets you a pretty good idea of how Cardinals fans, at least on Twitter, see it. Only about 9% said absolutely not. But 64% of people said yes, definitely, they would be on board with it. 27% said a little on board with it, which means they'd probably watch casually. So if it ever came down to it, the point is, I think St. Louis would be much more on board. And I've thought this for years, that if it came down to it, it doesn't have to be a constant cycle of, well, we don't want to completely tear it down and start over, so we'll try and be as competitive as we possibly can. So kind of keep things afloat a little bit because it's St. Louis and we'll never go for a full rebuild. I've never bought into that. I think people here would be.
There are quite a few comments, and here's one, I think, to that point. It says, I'd be more likely to be in if it were a full rebuild. It's this half in, half out purgatory stuff that bothers me.
That's exactly it. That's a great, and that's what I'm talking about. You can't do that half-assed sort of thing. You got to go for it. And you have to understand that it might be thin for a little bit. But if you have the right front office, if you have the right dedication to it, it can work really, really well, and it can set you up nicely. And you wouldn't necessarily have to have the highest payroll in the game.
And there's some pushback on this, saying I'd be in for a full rebuild. However, and then there's some pushback to like the front office, which, we saw that, right? Some of the booing for John Mozeliak at the games or whatever. And he joked about it, goes, oh, I thought you were cheering for Lars Nootbaar. Like, he joked about it. However, there's that aspect too, I think, that people are concerned about. Like, yeah, we'd have a full rebuild. However, we think other things need to change too.
And by the way, let me present this to you. This is Ken Rosenthal. Everybody who follows baseball knows who Ken is. And he was on the Fair Territory podcast talking about the Cardinals this week.
Now, what stood out to me here, what has stood out all season to people who follow the Cardinals, people paying attention to the game, is the way the Cardinals have started so slowly. It's almost like after their last place finish last year, we are witnessing the crumbling of an empire. Now, that might be overstating it, I know, but I think you guys know where I'm coming from. The Cardinals, again, are struggling big time here. You look at the NL Central standings right now. They're 8 games back. 8 back in the NL Central, a division that is not considered particularly strong. They are 29th in runs per game, 29th in scoring, ahead of only the White Sox. And the rotation, which has been a surprise in some respects, better than some people thought it would be, certainly performed well for the most part, at least in our mind's eye. No, not really. 24th in rotation ERA.
So he's laying out the case, and I don't know if I would call this a crumbling of an empire, but it is noteworthy that they've had this kind of start to a season 2 years in a row, and they're really only 1 game better this year than they were last year. They were 17-25 through 42 games in 2023. They are 18-24 now. So it's not like there's a massive improvement, but there's a legitimate question here that maybe at some point there has to be a bit of a reckoning and an acceptance of where they are. And who knows, things in the next 2 weeks might go great. They might go on a tear here. But also, the team that they've just beaten the last 2 nights is bad. They should be beating a team like the Angels. My assertion is I think St. Louis would still support the Cardinals if they committed to an actual rebuild. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I think that idea is there, and this is one of the most supportive fan bases in all of sports. I think they'd be there at the end. Let's talk to John Rooney, Amy, shall we? On his regular day. It's a Wednesday. We'll talk to John, play-by-play voice of the Cardinals, when we come back on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
At 11:30, clouds, 67 downtown at the Arch. A suspect has been detained and accused of shooting the country's Prime Minister, Robert Fico, whose office says he's in life-threatening condition. That country would be Slovakia. Here's CBS's Chris Livesay.
We know that he was speaking outside of a cultural center when he was shot, according to public television, multiple times. A suspect, we're told, has been apprehended. There's footage which appears to show this suspect with his hands bound.
Led by lower food and auto prices, inflation in the United States cooled slightly last month after 3 elevated readings, likely offering a tentative sigh of relief for officials at the Federal Reserve. Measured year over year, inflation ticked down from 3.5 to 3.4%. After 28 years at Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis, President Flint Flower is retiring under Fowler's tenure as president. The organization has grown from 1 location to 11 and serves more than 13,000 children on both sides of the river. Boys and Girls Club merged with Matthews Dickey Boys and Girls Clubs in 2021. A national search will be conducted for Fowler's replacement. We've got roadwork 270 south at 64. The center lane is closed. Sunny 77 today. Shower 62 tonight. Thunderstorm 73 tomorrow. It's 67 right now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Cars for Kids Real Estate. Maximize your tax savings in 2024. Donate your property to Cars for Kids. They accept all kinds of real estate. It's simple, and they cover all expenses. Get your tax deduction for the full appraised value of your property at carsforkidsrealestate.org. That's cars with a K.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Saturdays are made for soccer.
Parker elevated now ahead! And it's in! City lead!
Catch St. Louis City SC soccer
anywhere you go
on the Odyssey app.
Oh, Roman Berkey, a huge save! Oh, Roman Berkey!
Saturdays are made for soccer. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC and Academy of the Sacred Heart. Independent Sacred Heart education since 1818.
Whatever electrical needs you have, repair, service, replacement, call on Reinhold Electric. A live person will answer the phone call and they'll set you up with an electrician. If you need an estimate, absolutely free from Reinhold Electric, you will actually talk to a live estimator. No job is too big or too small for Reinhold Electric. Reinhold Electric, for all your electrical needs in residential, commercial, and industrial, call 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
The 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. A swing and a miss. A Redbird winner. Ohapi strikes out. And this ball game has come to an end with the Cardinals winning this one by a run in Anaheim.
It's Wednesday morning after the 11:30 news, the time that we almost always talk to John Rooney, unless a day game messes with our timing and we got to move him to Tuesday, which confuses John.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I thought it was Tuesday.
He's always thinking it's Wednesday when it's Tuesday, but today it is actually Wednesday. And John Rooney, play-by-play voice of the Cardinals, who is on a bobblehead now. Quiver River Electric guest line is with us, is open, and John is with us. Hi, John. What's up?
Hi, where am I?
No, you are in California.
What's going on? I woke up Monday morning, though. I had no idea where I was. Third trip out here to the West Coast already this season, coming in from Milwaukee, but things have been looking up the last few days.
So, yeah, it's a win streak for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
It matches their longest of the season. They've had now 2 3-game win streaks. What has gone right for them?
They started hitting. It's that simple. And they've had double figures in hits going back to Saturday night. And they showed some life on Saturday, and the home run by Hoskins started the night around for Milwaukee. But I like the life that I saw from the offense, and they've kept it up ever since then.
Which is the thing that has been the most confounding about the team early in the season. I don't think any of us believed they were the best offense in the National League or anything like that, but they are supposed to be a good offense. But in the first 6 weeks of the season, it hasn't been there. Can you identify if there's one issue that maybe has led to the lack of offense so far?
Well, they just didn't hit together. That's what happened. You don't see it very often where everybody seems to go into a slump at the same time. But very few were actually getting on base and putting 2-3 hit games together, and we didn't get the production from Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Nolan Gorman, and it just didn't work. Especially when your big guys don't hit, then the others didn't seem to follow along. Wilson Contreras was hitting really well, but that was a big blow to the team when he suffered the broken arm, and he'll have to be out for several weeks. But they seem to pick things up. It's an opportunity for Ivan Herrera, for Pedro Pajes. Pajes got his first Major League hit last night, and that was a 3-run double. So that's taking up some of the slack. And Nolan Arenado looks like he's beginning to get locked in. I'm not sure Goldie is quite there yet. He had some strikeouts last night. But Nolan Arenado is hitting the ball with authority right now.
Anybody you've talked to or what you have seen with your own eyes, are you able to pinpoint why the strikeouts have been up for Goldschmidt? I mean, he's doing it more than he typically does, which we're not really used to seeing from him.
Well, it's just, as he was saying recently, it's not on just fastballs. It's on breaking pitches, and they're throwing a lot of breaking pitches away. And we got into this discussion with Oliver Marmol in his office a couple of days ago about the fact that there aren't any real fastball counts anymore. In baseball, we see so many breaking balls, but you get to 2-0, it's not a guarantee you're going to see a fastball. And I think they pitched Paul very tough. And it has been just a very frustrating start for him. But you wouldn't know it to see him walking around, and he seems to be the same whether he's hitting 300 or if he's hitting 200. But it has been frustrating for him. He puts in a lot of extra work trying to work through it, and that's the only way to get out of it is to work. And when you're done, work some more. And he has done that. But it seems to be on a number of pitches, and he just hasn't been able to get the timing exactly the way he wants it. But he has had some big hits, and he's had some solid hits to right field recently. And once he broke out of that 0 for 32, he does look a little bit better, but I'm not sure it's quite where he wants to be yet.
In terms of the pitching staff, John, Keenan Middleton appears to be on his way back. He has started a rehab assignment. And for a bullpen that's already been pretty good, how much of an important addition will he be to it?
Well, we'll see, because it's still going to be like spring training for him when he comes back, even coming back from a rehab assignment. It'll still be game action, Major League ball games, and you expect him to be a big addition. That's why they signed him. And I'll be happy to see him come on board to give the bullpen some depth. Ryan Fernandez has struggled a little bit his last couple of starts. He just hasn't had the feel for his slider, but he can get that back. That's a good possibility. And the bullpen has been without Giovanni Gallegos, who's on the injured list. And I really think that if the Cardinals are going to do something, they're going to need his presence and his help in the bullpen at some point. And we haven't seen Riley O'Brien either. O'Brien pitched in one game in Los Angeles after looking so impressive in spring training and making the team. Yet he's been on the injured list, and he's on a slow recovery right now, and I'm not sure when we're going to see him. But, remember, Packy Naughton was doing so well when he got hurt last year, and he hasn't been back since. So it's different for everybody coming back from injury. And Middleton, let's hope he makes a big contribution, because you're going to need depth in pitching. No two ways about it, whether it's starting or in the bullpen. And he can provide that. That's for sure. His track record tells you that.
John, there was a moment in last night's game when Sonny Gray was pretty deep, nearing 90 pitches. He walks a batter to load the bases, and you think, okay, this might be the time that Ollie decides to take him out. He doesn't. He leaves him in. He gets out of the inning. Something like that. Does that go a long way in continuing to boost a pitcher's confidence, or is it just, well, we're not digging into our bullpen? Did you make anything of that moment?
Well, that's Sonny Gray, and that's his game. He had gone to that point, and he had 2 starts now where he's given up 6 runs and 5 runs on the road trip, and they didn't get him much support in the game in Milwaukee. But last night, that was his game, and even though he expected that he may be coming out of the ball game at that point after walking the number 9 hitter, and that's a hitter who hit like 0.77 at Double-A because of injuries. Paris, their second baseman, is at the big league level. But Oliver Marmol wanted to send the message that that's your game. And he sent Dusty Blake out there instead of making the trip himself. And when Dusty Blake came out of the dugout, then Sonny Gray knew he had another batter to deal with to get out of that mess and keep the game tied, and that's what he did.
What do you think of this schedule? You have been broadcasting baseball for a long time, so you've seen schedules, but the team is in California to start. They come back home. They go back to California, come back home, go to the East Coast. They're back home. Then they're back to California. And there is a lot of travel involved in baseball all the time. So that's not anything new. But the fact that they've already been all over the country while having only played 7 total games in the Midwest, I know it's a more balanced schedule, but this seems really unusual.
Well, everybody has to do it. That's the other side of it. Whether you stack it up early or it gets stacked up in the middle or late, everybody has to play everybody. And it's the Cardinals' turn to play all these games in California or get the games out of the way in Arizona. And that's what's happened so far in the early season. When I saw the schedule, I really thought if the Cardinals can just stay close to 500 through the month of May, then I think this team will take off, and they may take off before then. If they start hitting, that's going to take a lot of pressure off the starters, certainly off the bullpen, And the starters in the bullpen have been pretty good by and large. I think the starters felt more pressure when the team wasn't hitting, that they had to be near perfect, and that's not a good place to be. But I see a little more balance in that right now. But the schedule, we get to come home for a good long homestand. We have the Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles are in, and then, well, you know it, we get to play a team in the division.
What?
Cubs. Yes, 7 games against one team in the division so far. And it's kind of when you catch that team. We don't face Milwaukee again in Milwaukee until Labor Day. And we haven't played the Reds or the Pirates yet, but that's coming. On the next road trip, there'll be a visit to Cincinnati, but also Philadelphia and Houston as part of that road trip. But everybody has to deal with it. And we have that out of the way after we get this game over with tonight, then get back home, a day off tomorrow, and then play a good long homestand beginning with the Boston Red Sox. And 3 pretty good teams coming in with the Red Sox. The Orioles are looking up at the Yankees, but that's a close race in the AL East. And then you have the Chicago Cubs in, and it'll be interesting to see another division team.
Yep, 9-game homestand is coming up. Off day tomorrow. Then it is Boston in town on Friday night. So that series will begin there. The Orioles, as John mentioned, the next weekend will be the Cubs are in town for a 3-game series. So, John, enjoy baseball tonight in California. We'll see you back home. Tonight it is the 7:10 pregame show, 8:07 first pitch. We look forward to hearing you tonight and hopefully calling win number 4 in a row.
Well, I'd like to have that win with the red-eye trip coming home, but it'll be good to have the day off and then great to have a long homestand. So thank you.
See you this weekend.
Look forward to it.
That is John Rooney, play-by-play voice. He is with Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne. Tonight, Lance Lynn and Griffin Canning is the pitching matchup. 7:10 pregame. 8:07 first pitch. You can hear it on the Odyssey app if you're in the listening area. AUDACY. Download it for free. You can also catch this show live and get all of our podcast stuff. Pretty cool, right?
You should do it.
It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-574-6468, and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-574-6468. Call now, and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-574-6468 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-574-6468.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many market's ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. You know, they don't want anybody to go without hot water. So if you call Beast Plumbing, they will get you a water heater installed the same day. That's how quickly they work. They want to be your new plumber. 314-500-LEAK. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien. Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
A goal without a plan is just a wish. To get started on your retirement income plan, call Sachs Financial today and live your best life now and in retirement. Sachs Financial, the home of the retirement compensation plan at retiresafestl.com.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Making radio waves more interesting. The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
We asked the question if you would be up for a Cardinals rebuild. And of course, we asked that question while they're trying to get a 4-game win streak tonight by sweeping the Angels. But they're 18-24 on the season. It has not gone well the last 2 years. Still plenty of time for them to, get it going. They can. There's more than 4 months, 4.5 months of the season to go. But the trends have not been particularly good. I think we can all acknowledge that. Before we get to some of your reaction to it, and we had a poll on our Twitter account at Chris Amy KMOX. So follow us, and I think the voting is over now, but almost over 90% of people said that they would be willing to sit through a rebuild and support the team still if they ever decided to go that route. And again, there are challenges with the team now, with the roster and what's tradable and what they could get in return. It may not be a lot, but people do have thoughts on it. And before I get to those, and we want to hear from you, 314-436-7900. This happened in the game last night. So they're playing the Angels, and there is an opportunity for they had come all the way back. They were down 5. The Angels were. It was 5-0 Cardinals. They had come back to tie it. There was an opportunity to get more, and then this play happened.
7-6 Cardinals. 1 out. Bases loaded for the Angels in the bottom of the 8th inning in Anaheim. The pitch. A squeeze play is on, and the bunt is missed. Tag out. Throw to third, and safe at third base. Out. Approaching the plate, Zach Neto. 2 down. And on to third base on the play, Perez.
Boy, I don't like that at all. If for the Angels, I don't. I'm glad that they tried a squeeze play, and it was not a safety squeeze at all.
It was the suicide.
And he was taking off for home, and he was out, and the Cardinals almost turned it into a double play. What a crazy turn of events that was. Everything going the Angels' way, and they literally just ran into an out as Guillorme couldn't get the bunt down.
Oops. So not very good on their part, right? Okay. But this was the amusing thing that happened after the fact. Here is manager Ron Washington, who was asked about that play. And I have to tell you, I love this.
Lefty on lefty. I didn't sink a ball left-hander. I didn't want him to hit into a double play. He can handle the bat. He didn't do the job. It wasn't anything I did wrong. He didn't do the job.
Well,
I love that so much. That's so good. How often do you ever hear a manager say, he didn't do that? I didn't do anything wrong. That was all him. Look, it's probably not the best way to manage people, but Ron Washington has been around forever, and he just don't care no more. He's like, I don't care. That guy screwed up. I told him the right thing to do. He didn't get it done.
Well, you're
That's
the one
awesome.
that always says, reiterating time and time again, a manager is important, but can only do so much. It's the players on the field. It's the players on the field. You got to do your job.
It's the best.
He can handle the bat. He didn't do the job. It wasn't anything I did wrong.
Oh my God, I love it. But it's maybe I love it because it's not my team.
Yeah.
And it's really funny to watch from a distance.
I think there's that. I think that's part of it. I know I'm going to mess this up, but what was it the manager of the Cubs years ago?
Oh, the Lee Elia tirade?
Yes.
About the fans?
About the fans?
Oh, yeah.
That's another one that you love. Set that up for people.
Oh, well, I don't know if we have it.
No, I don't think we do.
Do we have the tirade?
I think you had to bleep out a lot of it.
Yeah. But it's very famous. People have heard it, where they're losing, they stink. And at that time, there weren't a whole lot of people going to Wrigley Field. This was back in, oh my God, I can't remember the year. 70s?
83.
It was 83? Okay. So, in fact, I knew this guy passed away. He was an old coworker of mine. He was the only person to have a microphone in Lee Elia's face to record that. This Les Grobstein, who was a great guy, passed away. Anyway, so he recorded that whole thing, and Lee was mad, and he was being questioned by reporters after the game, and he just went off on the bleacher bums, all the people in the stands, about, well, you know what, 80% of the world works, and the other 15 come here. Like it was great. I don't remember the exact. Clearly,
it was something like 85% of the world is at work
the other
right
15
now.
Come here, or something like that. It's such a good rant.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You got to have moments of just brutal honesty, especially in the game of baseball, which has not been historically notorious for having personalities or letting those personalities shine.
Well,
so you got to have little moments.
I feel like there was a time where it seemed like there was more.
Baseball got pretty uptight. Baseball
uptight is an uptight sport
compared to other professional leagues.
So every time something goes wrong on this show,
he didn't do the job. It wasn't anything I did wrong.
I did what I'm supposed to.
You're going to bring that into our meetings with our boss
today.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I'm going to say to him. Hey, he's going to be like, look, guys, this show is not very good.
He didn't do the job. It wasn't anything I did wrong.
Yep.
That's
about Matt. Matt. Amy. Awesome. Awesome. Anyway.
James O'Sullivan back there smiling.
Oh, so our text message, we've gotten text messages about the Cardinals and rebuild, and 314-436-7900 if you want to join. They've all kind of been a combination of things about how baseball operations probably needs to figure out what's going on inside baseball operations and why they haven't been successful recently, and start there, which I think is fair. And I think that if they were being honest, they would say the same thing, that clearly there have been issues, whether it's roster or whatever else, something is going on, but they got to figure some things out. But I do believe ultimately St. Louis would support a rebuild if they ever go that route.
He didn't do the job. It wasn't anything I did wrong.
Yep.
See, you could say that. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or to download the app today.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Guess what? Single performance tickets for the Munis 106 season go on sale Monday, May 20th. Don't forget, get your tickets. Oh my gosh, the shows are amazing. I cannot believe the lineup of Broadway show hits they have. There are some premieres you can see this summer. Buy tickets for individual shows or see all 7 for as little as $126. So drop everything, get your single performance tickets Monday, May 20th. Find out more at muni.org.
When our truck stops in front of your home,
you'll know it's there.
Because you'll feel magic in the air.
You'll see the magic with your eyes.
When that junk disappears.
And you'll feel the fresh air freedom.
Throughout your body.
When that dull junk is gone, all your cool stuff will sparkle.
You'll smile.
You'll dance.
You'll call your friends.
Because you'll want them to see it and feel it too.
When you're ready to unleash the delight,
call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
12 o'clock, we've got clouds and 68 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour, St. Louis officers responded to a shots fired call Monday, but why was a body not found until Tuesday?
When a 911 call of shots fired on the 1500 block of Hogan came in around 10:45 Monday evening, officers were already tied up with multiple calls, according to St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy. He says when officers did respond, they canvassed the area but found no victim.
Our officers did respond. They did a canvass. They made sure that they looked around in the area. But sometimes when someone gets shot at one location, they sometimes go to the hospital, and then we have to reverse back to find the scene.
Chief Tracy says a homicide investigation is ongoing, but says it is possible the victim was shot in one location and later died in another. He adds when police get a call for shots fired but no information about a potential victim, the call isn't prioritized as highly as other calls with a victim. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
President Biden and Donald Trump have agreed to debates in June and September.
Both men say they've accepted CNN's invitation to debate June 27th in Battleground, Georgia. It was a quick agreement and came after the president said he would not take part in fall debates sponsored by the nonpartisan commission that's organized them for decades. Instead, his campaign proposed media outlets directly organize the debates. The president took to social media to challenge Trump to show up.
So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
A dig at Trump's hush money trial, which usually takes Wednesdays off. Trump says he is ready and willing to debate, though the two sides appear far apart on key details and ground rules. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The KMOX Business Desk, what's the price on the shelf?
Inflation is still with us, but in April, the pace of rising prices slowed. The Consumer Price Index, which excludes food and energy costs, rose 0.3% in April from the previous month. That marks the first slowdown in 6 months. Retail sales were unchanged in April, though, a sign that sky-high prices elevated borrowing costs and mounting debt, and forcing a lot of consumers to pull back on their spending. Sales for the prior 2 months were revised a little lower, too. Economists were looking for an increase in sales of nearly 0.5%. Gas station receipts were higher because of higher prices, but online sales, auto sales, and restaurants were all a little lower. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel up 288 points to 39,846.
For the rest of today, turning out partly sunny with a high of 77. Could see a stray shower west of the area for tonight, low of 62. And tomorrow, a couple showers, heavy thunderstorms. Watch for damaging winds and hail for the afternoon, high of 73. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Matt Benz on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by the U.S. Air Force of Mid-America Band, May Concerts. We've got clouds, 68 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing you free concerts May 21st, 22nd, and 24th, showcasing patriotic music plus Broadway tunes and more. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.com. That's afbandtix.com.
A roller coaster ride of banter and brilliance. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Let's run it back.
For a limited time, go back in time.
With Chris and Amy.
Banter and brilliance for the very low price of nothing.
With a splash of humor.
Oh. Well, this sounds like a great show. I should listen to it.
It's a great deal. And if you are really anywhere along the 40 corridor east-west, even a little south-north of it, it's a pretty big span. 98.7 FM is excellent. It's very, very clear.
Don't forget about 102.5 HD2 if you have an HD radio.
I don't know how to get to the HD radio.
It's in a lot of cars.
Well, of course, it's in a car.
102.5 HD2. I don't have that.
I have it in my car, but I don't know how to get to it.
There's a button.
I don't have an HD button.
But most importantly, you want the Odyssey app, because on the Odyssey app, you can rewind, you can get the podcasts, segments, anything in particular you want to go back and listen to, or anything that you missed on the Odyssey app, AUDACY.
I think we are almost about exactly a month away from Southern Illinois Day. June 18th.
Yeah, June 18th is Southern Illinois Day.
Because 314
is St. Louis Day.
March 14th is St. Louis Day. STL Day. Yeah, so we need to continue to crowdsource ideas for Southern Illinois Day.
Yeah, so follow us on Twitter if you like, at Chris Amy KMOX. Give us your ideas. What should appear in the tournament for Southern Illinois Day? Metro East Day.
Steel.
That'll be June 18th.
Steel.
Yes, Steel will be on there. Granite City Steel. The ketchup bottle, I'm sure, in Collinsville. That'll be on the list. What?
Strip clubs.
Strip clubs from Sauget.
Yep.
The Piasaw Bird.
The Piasaw Bird, yes! Because of the park. Didn't they just do some renovation to that park?
I don't know.
I think they did.
Pierre Marquette.
Pierre Marquette.
The Alton Bell.
Oh, Argosy.
Well, it's Argosy now.
Yeah.
But Alton Bell was what a great name that was.
Yeah, and just I think downtown Alton.
Yeah,
because it's pretty.
So we are going to do a Southern Illinois tournament, just like we did for STL tournament.
How far away can we get for it to
wherever
count?
618 covers?
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, this will be exciting.
That goes down to Carbondale. I think 618 is Carbondale.
We should have a segment dedicated to all the contest winners and ask them how their concerts were, since Southern Illinois wins a lot of contests.
Every time we give away tickets on this show, not every time, but 4 out of 5 winners are from Illinois.
They're very good dialers. What about driver's ed? That could be a Southern Illinois
thing.
Yes,
driver's ed. That's a mix, because people actually learn how to drive before they get licenses in Illinois. In Missouri, though, it's like, what are you? Can you breathe? Can you see? How many fingers is this? Parallel park? You bumped the car. Good enough. Here's your license. Stupid. All right.
Unbelievable.
We talked about the presidential debate, which we have our first one. It is going to happen June 27th, which is very early in the process. Usually it doesn't happen later in the year. 8 o'clock on CNN. It'll be Biden and Trump in a studio, so there will not be an audience. What happened this morning was the president put out a video and said, 2 debates, let's go, and laid out what the parameters were for the debates.
Technically, he said, make my day.
He did say, make my day.
Okay, listen, I know.
Any place, anytime, cowboy.
That's not him. That was Congress when right after that, I believe Senator Bernie Sanders goes, Stop it. What are you doing? You are senators.
You're a United States Senator.
You are United States Senator. I loved Bernie in that moment.
Good, man.
But yeah, very, very, in a very diplomatic, presidential, and becoming way, the current president and former president went back and forth on respective social media, making statements. Listen, Joe Biden, great. He's going to debate Donald Trump. For some reason, I don't think the make my day is a great look for Joe Biden. It comes across as kind of, I don't know why it strikes me as pathetic when he says it. I feel like it would have been better for President Biden to just say, okay, I will debate my opponent. Period. The whole make my day, I got something to prove is weird to me.
My issue with it is it's a phrase that I feel like we can retire. It's been around long enough.
127 years.
It's very similar to the Michael Buffer phrase that we cannot mention.
We can't say.
Because who cares about it anyway?
Here's the thing. We all know Biden is old.
Nobody says I'll be back anymore.
Right.
We dropped that one.
And we all know Biden is old and how there are certain things that he does that really don't help his case. One of them is constantly eating ice cream. And the other one is...
That one doesn't bother me.
Make my day.
That doesn't make...
You don't need... That's so corny. It's so cringe.
Yeah, it's cringy. You're right. It is cringy, but I would rather have cringy over, oh my God, what the hell is this clown talking about?
But
I'll take that 9 times out of 9.
But why do we have to pick the...
Because
why do we have to pick that? Why can't we just have a normal person?
Because that's what our choice is. Because that's people voted in primaries, and that's what the American people decided.
I just can't imagine if you were invited to speak somewhere and you said, oh, yes, Edwardsville High School asked me to speak. Make my day.
Well, nobody would use that phrase anymore.
I know, but it's so weird.
Anyway, that's happening. But one of the big developments out of it was a thing that you talked about.
It is. So it's Donald Trump's Truth Social post, which is very long and rambling, as they tend to be. He said at the beginning, crooked Joe Biden is the worst, all caps, debater I have ever faced. He can't put 2 sentences together. Crooked is also the worst president in the history of the United States by far. I love when he adds the by far. And he goes on and on about how Biden's policies are terrible. And he says here, I would strongly recommend more than 2 debates and, for excitement purposes, a very large venue, although Biden is supposedly afraid of crowds. That's only because he doesn't get them. Just tell me when and I'll be there.
Well, he doesn't lie about how big the crowds are.
And then he says a phrase that really entreats people to prepare for something that would be a physical activity.
Yes.
And it's the phrase that Michael Buffer used.
The boxing ring announcer from years ago.
Yep, before boxing matches. If you had jock jams, you heard it. But we can't say it even when we are reporting on the direct quote of a former president to a current president, because Michael Buffer is so insanely litigious that he will sue your socks off.
Although what I've noticed is the national news reporters that we have at CBS have been saying it.
But they didn't say the phrase exactly. He said he is.
But it got sent up to the corporate. So
I took it to the newsroom, and we took it to our boss, who took it to corporate, who took it to a lawyer, who is now talking to the general counsel. I am so excited. I have started a company-wide
It really is
issue.
It's interesting, though, just because it leads us to an area I don't know that we've ever been where we're afraid to quote a presidential candidate directly addressing another presidential candidate because some clown years ago trademarked a phrase that is being used. But it's news. This is news to use whatever former President Trump says in a tweet.
I think on
Truth Social post.
Yeah, on principle, it's so insane to me that a news organization can't say this because of a little tyrant who wants to make money. But because the whole the news speaking truth to power. I'm speaking truth to power, except for the little tyrant Michael Buffer. It's not that we can't. I do think if it were something very groundbreaking or very important to include that phrase, we would. I think it's more of our company is saying it is not worth $100,000 for us for you to say this
Yeah,
phrase.
that's what it is. Because
it's not like we legally can't or they'll take the station off the air. It's not that. It's just, hey, Amy, our company will have to pay $100,000 for you to use this phrase because Michael Buffer will sue you even though you're quoting a president.
It's just clown
but
stuff.
It's insane.
It is really crazy. But the other, I think, important aspect of all of this, and by the way, President Biden said he's up for 2 debates. Honestly, I don't know that either of them need to debate because how much more could you possibly know or need to know about either of them? They're all very well vetted. I'm not sure a debate matters at this stage, but he agreed to 2. Trump wants 2 more of them. And as you mentioned, he wants them to be in front of a crowd. I don't care whatever reason Biden has for not being in front of a crowd. If it's too much for him, I don't know. Whatever it is, I agree with him. He's right. He's 100% right. And it's something I've been saying forever. I hate crowds at a debate. I don't think it adds anything of substance to a debate. It just makes candidates look for the good one-liner that's going to get applause. It doesn't. Debates to me, when it's about an issue that matters or issues that matter, because whoever the president is has an effect on all of our lives. Those debates should be boring as hell. They should be snoozers. They should be the kind of thing where you tune in and go, this sucks. I don't want to watch this. This is boring. That's what it should be, because it should be 2 people, no crowd, no pandering to the crowd, just talking issues. That's what I want. And Biden is 1,000% right. I said it during the Republican primary debates. I hate the crowds here because it's 7 candidates all trying to deliver that one-liner, all trying to deliver the snark and, get one over on the guy next to him. Sucks. I hate it.
Unless you think it's like, well, the people should be there. The people can watch on TV, and it's not for democratic or democracy purposes, because as former President Trump said himself, for excitement purposes, we should have a crowd. For excitement. It's a show. It's the MMA. It's wrestling.
And that's how his mind works. His mind works. What's the best TV show? That's how Donald Trump sees things. He was a television star.
And again,
that's how he processes all this.
Being on television in the first place can be prejudicial depending on how someone looks or dresses or conducts themselves, because famously, the Nixon-Kennedy debates, if you listened on radio, you thought Nixon won. If you watched on television, you thought Kennedy won. So we don't need
First televised debate.
We don't need to add a confounding factor of a crowd that's going to hiss or holler or cheer if one of the candidates makes a face or just comes back with a zinger.
It's not a Friars Club roast. It's a presidential debate. Talk about issues. Tell us what you want to do. Tell us how you want to fix the country or what you want to do for the country. I don't need a crowd there to cheer you on. It doesn't help anything. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, and by the way, any of the interviews, we didn't get to any of them. Jeff Smith has been with us. We talked to Bob O'Loughlin with Lodging Hospitality Management. They want to add attractions to Union Station. John Rooney. All of those interviews will be there for you on the Odyssey app. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. This is KMOX.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Vira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at 11 a.m. or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
In the know, on the go. Trust KMOX for local news that impacts St. Louis and the region. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Most violent crime is committed by a small percentage of the population. Save Lives Now recognizes this reality and engages these individuals with the goal of diverting them through focused deterrence, teaching them there's a different way through cognitive behavioral therapy, and using credible messengers who can earn their trust. The Automatic Camera Enforcement Act will help make our streets safer by holding reckless drivers accountable. We've been working diligently to make sure these technologies will be used to reduce traffic violence, not target already vulnerable populations.
That is Mayor Tashara Jones. Last night was the State of the City address for St. Louis and where we are, where we're headed. Her remarks coming last night. She said quite a bit. It's the Chris and Amy show. And we have with us in studio Sean Malone from the newsroom, reporter here at KMOX. He has been very, very busy lately. You've been in a courthaus and then a shooting and then back to the courthouse and a different courthouse. You're all over the place.
He wasn't involved in the shooting.
No. Yeah, you didn't shoot anybody.
No.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
I mean,
it'd be easy to bury the story.
So,
oh my gosh.
Damn. Tell me what you know.
Yeah.
And also, see that hole over there? All right. So you covered last night the State of the City address. What were your main takeaways from it?
It was interesting because going in, obviously, this is, an election year coming up for Mayor Tashara Jones. So was curious to see what she said, because this is kind of becoming a pivotal moment for the city of St. Louis. A lot of things are converging at the same time. The St. Louis City Police Department could be taken over by the state. Obviously, she's pointing to crime stats showing that crime is down. She even did address at one point that some people say to her, crime doesn't feel down, even though the numbers are down.
Today, the city of St. Louis is safer, stronger, and healthier than we were last year. And next year, we'll be safer, stronger, and healthier than we are today. St. Louis experienced its lowest homicide rate decline in a decade and the largest year-over-year reduction in crime in over 90 years. We have reduced juvenile shootings by 50%, and we've seen a 36% reduction in car thefts over the last year. And I'm thankful to Chief Robert Tracy and the SLMPD for helping us accomplish these milestones.
And so that was a big central focus of her speech, was the crime throughout the city, the efforts that are being made to try to reduce crime, violent crime in particular, not just in terms of murders, assaults, but also with crashes as well. She talked about the Board of Aldermen getting automated traffic enforcement back, and red light cameras will start are going to slowly over time. We're not going to be seeing them anytime soon. They got to bid out the process, so it's going to be a little bit, but those are coming back. Hopefully that will stop or start deterring reckless driving and traffic violence, as they call it. So, that was very much a central focus. And she took a lot of shots at Jefferson City as well throughout her speech, which I found interesting. In particular, about how they're trying to take over the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. She pushed back against that. Legislation about abortion she pushed back on as well, which I thought was interesting because that's not, I imagine, an issue that she would need to be running on in the city of St. Louis. I imagine anyone who's going to have a shot, this being a more democratic area compared to other parts of the state, obviously, I imagine you would need to be on the side of the pro-choice argument for that. So it was interesting that she made that a point as well, to take another shot at Jefferson City.
Yeah. And did she mention anything about the money from let's say with the Rams settlement money and how they're moving forward with that?
Rams settlement money, not a peep. That was not a topic of conversation at all. ARPA money was a big focus, and how ARPA money is being used to turn this around and create this program and do this thing. Some of the programs that she focused on with the ARPA money in particular was programs that have been established to try to help people get out of poverty, such as a program that's been started to get people up to $50,000 in assistance in purchasing their first home in the city of St. Louis. Money that's being spent to tear down buildings that are crumbling and about to collapse on their own, and renovating those buildings and spaces and things like that. So not necessarily Rams money, that wasn't touched on at all. But the ARPA dollars was certainly a big focus. 2 separate times during the speech, she thanked the Biden-Harris administration for the ARPA dollars.
Yeah. Interesting that she does point to Jefferson City a lot, which she's done previously, because the city of St. Louis does have a lot of power to address some issues on its own, regardless of what Jefferson City says, or with, make improvements. We talked to Alderwoman Kara Spencer, how there were youths, there were teens, juveniles walking around with assault-style weapons, and the city of St. Louis had the power to push forward a bill that would not allow that on their city streets, and Kara Spencer sponsored it and finally got it through. But that wasn't a Jefferson City thing.
But there was Jefferson City pushback, right?
Well, Jefferson City, the way the Missouri State Constitution is the state has control over what gun regulations can be passed. Now, Alderwoman Spencer did find a loophole where you need an open carry permit and can be asked for it if you're walking around open carrying. So that was kind of the loophole that she found. But if you have your open carry permit on you, you can still walk down the streets of St. Louis with an AK-47 on your back, and they can't do anything about that to say, no, we don't want you open carrying an assault rifle around the city. That's where the state has the power over something like that.
And that's where the loophole was, because if you're under 18, you can't open carry. It therefore eliminated their ability to carry those assault weapons. So wasn't everyone, but it was teens
Yes.
were stopped by that loophole.
And that's it. They've had to find loopholes around that. Now, there was, to get a little granular, initiative petition that was talked up a bit that would have potentially changed that from the state has the power to create those laws regarding the Second Amendment rights to counties would. But I haven't heard anything from that in a while. I'm not sure if that's going anywhere. I highly doubt at this point we're going to be seeing it on the November election ballot.
What sort of reaction before we say goodbye here, Sean, have you seen, globally? I don't mean around the world, but I'm saying like around the city. What sort of reaction to her address have you seen?
We've seen some mixed reaction so far. Obviously, St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones is going to be trying to paint this in a positive light as much as possible about the progress the city has made. Some detractors are obviously going to sit there and say that not enough has been made, or that the city is still not in a good place. I know we've got a story that we're working on right now with reaction from one judge who left downtown because of the condition that downtown was in, feeling unsafe there. So that's something that, the reaction to it, obviously, it's expected. As I mentioned, this is an election year that's coming up for St. Louis City Mayor Tashara Jones. And I don't think any mayor in any state of the city address is going to, a couple years in, say, yeah, things aren't great in our city right now. Things are going terribly. We're regressing. So this was kind of just expected where, she's going to point to the improvements and the work that her administration has done to try to better the city. Detractors are going to sit there and say, well, not enough has been done quite yet at this point, or we're still not where we should be.
Sean Malone, appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Sean from the KMOX newsroom, terrific reporter here. Our entire newsroom is fantastic. Best in the city, right here, KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Clouds and 69 degrees downtown at the Arch. Barge has hit a bridge in Galveston, Texas, partially collapsing a rail line and closing the only road to a small island. Sources tell CBS News the Biden administration is planning to send $1 billion in weapons to Israel, but this latest package needs Congress's approval first. White House reporter Willie James Inman
includes $700 million for tank ammunition, $500 million for tactical vehicles, and $60 million for mortar rounds to essentially replenish those stocks for the Israelis as they've been fighting this a months-long battle against Hamas.
Palestinians across the Middle East are marking the anniversary of their mass expulsion from what is now Israel. Protests and other events will be held across the region at a time of mounting concern over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
The Cardinals clinch a series victory and win their third straight, knocking off the Angels in Anaheim last night 7-6. Alec Burleson has a big game. He hits his fourth home run of the year, going 3 for 5 with a couple RBIs. Sonny Gray picks up the win, going 6 innings, though he allows 5 runs on 8 hits. Ryan Helsley gets the save. The series wraps up tonight. The Cardinals will send Lance Lynn to the mound. 8:07 first pitch. Our coverage is set to begin at 7:10. The Redbird Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Win big with a pool or spa at alohapoolsusa.com. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Sunny today, high 77. Cloudy tonight with the shower, low 62. Couple of showers tomorrow, high 73. Sponsored by Nicholas Dalba Real Estate, 69 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Nick Dalbo with Nicholas Dalbo Real Estate. Are you selling your home? As a full-service broker with 35 years of real estate experience, we are positioned to beat the competition on price and service. Visit nickdalbo.com to schedule a consultation so we can discuss why now is the best time to sell your home with Nicholas Dalbo Real Estate.
Your best friend deserves the best care.
That's why your pet needs regular checkups and preventatives so they can keep running, playing, snuggling, and being part of your family. Your pet won't tell you when something is wrong, so the veterinarians at the Animal Medical Center of Mid-America are here to help. They provide comprehensive, compassionate care in a fear-free setting. Give your best friends the care they deserve. Go to amcma.org or 314-951-1534 to schedule a visit today.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit, 800-790-1400, 800-790-1400.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
To the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the house.
Faroe Field, home sweet home for Tiger Nation on 7 Saturdays each fall. The traditions in tailgating run deep. The victories roar louder, and you can't get energy like this sitting on your couch. So don't wait. Get up and get in the game. Lock into your seats today because every seat is front row to greatness. Call 1-800-CAT-PAWS or visit mutigers.com/tickets. MIZ.
Dive into all things Cardinals on Cardinals Conversations, your go-to location for exclusive content from KMOX. Catch it on the Odyssey app or your favorite podcast platform. Stay connected with your team. Cardinals Conversations, where the Redbird talk never stops.
Oh my God, Roadhouse!
It is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX. Our guy here, Matt Pajeski, went to Wenty's Roadhouse.
He did.
In Defiance, Missouri.
And the one in Chesterfield. I think he went to both.
Real? You went to both?
He's definitely in Chesterfield.
Oh, my God. Quiver River Electric Guest Line. It is the owner of Wenty's in Chesterfield. Marla Khan is with us on KMOX on the Quiver River Electric Guest Line. Marla, thank you for being here today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Also, thank you for taking time out of your vacation.
I know.
To talk to us.
You're good.
Do you know how many
You're
people?
good, yeah.
You know how many people pause their vacations for us?
A lot.
Most.
I don't know.
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah.
Marla, so you own the Wenty's in Chesterfield. You are you own the Wenty's in Defiance as well, or in the process of purchasing that?
Yeah, so I own the business, and I'm going to be leasing the building to own it.
So we wanted to reach out to owners in the Defiance, Augusta areas because so many family-owned businesses, restaurants, wineries were purchased by the Hoffman family, their group, when they had this big vision for the Augusta Defiance area. Well, now that vision has changed a bit. They're selling some of the different restaurant locations and wineries that they just purchased from these families. And there's been kind of a local movement to keep those businesses locally owned.
Yes.
So have you coordinated with other people in that area?
So I have contact. Well, coordinated in what way?
I guess more of like the movement to say we need to find owners. We are going to step up, be an owner to keep these locations locally owned.
Yes. So I'm going to be honest with you. I really didn't know about the Roadhouse and what was going on with the Hoffmans at the time.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine sent me a link to the Roadhouse and said, "Wow, this would be an amazing second location for Wenty's." And I said, "Yeah, I'm a little too old for that right now. That's not happening." But however, I kept looking at the property. online and the listing, and it just was so charming, and it was in such a great spot that I said if I was going to open a second location, this pretty much would be the perfect place, because I'd like to be in a standalone type of thing. I don't want to be in a strip mall or anything. So that's when I really started investigating and found out very quickly, through Don Simon, who is working with the Hoffmans, that the other restaurants and general store across the street were also available. And also the Green Building, the general store, was bought actually by some locals, Tiffany and Larry Winkler. So that's already done. And then I'll be in the Roadhouse, and they're still working on the place across the street. There's a little biker bar across the street, charming. And they're working on that.
The biker bar and charming. That's an adjective I always think when I think of biker bar.
I know that biker bar. Yeah, no,
I can't explain it. It's just lovely.
I've been to one in Central Illinois. It's called the Psycho Silo. Somehow it's very charming.
Very charming.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's crazy. So
an aggressive name, though.
Very aggressive.
Yes, I like it.
There is so this Hoffman family that Amy mentioned is out of Florida, and so there's this idea of out of town ownership where you've got these people who don't live here who like we've got some downtown properties owned by people in Boston or in Singapore, and you just kind of want to keep it local. So are you seeing that in that area? You already mentioned the Winklers who bought the place near you. So are you seeing that's what's happening there? Is that there's more local ownership and more people are invested?
Yes, I do. But there's a little side story to that, a backstory about the Hoffmans. They did grow up in Washington. Husband and wife went to school out in Missouri. So they're not total foreigners. They did have some roots here. Left the responsibility of Augusta with Don. So there is some kind of, attachment. It wasn't just a random thing.
Right. Right.
But what happened was, and this is really from what I've been told, and it makes a lot of sense. They weren't restaurateurs. They weren't bar owners. They're real estate investors. And they really didn't realize what they were getting themselves into. And so basically that's what it came down to. And I'm kind of glad because, I found that the community was very upset about it. Wanting me to take the Hoffman signs off the building. And just, why are they still there? I said, well, it is a Hoffman property right now until I buy it. Right now I'm leasing to own it. But I do own the business. I own Wendy's Roadhouse. So, eventually the signs will come down. Tiffany did take her signs down. But I think as these places start to reopen, less animosity will be focused on the Hoffmans because they're not bad people. They're, Don Simon has helped me, anything they had closed for a while. There was a horrible, horrific fire there where 2 children died. And they really weren't focused on the buildings at the time. So when there wasn't a building, my discussion with Don was on a handshake, I'll take care of everything. Hand me the invoices. And he's been true to his word. So I really have nothing negative to say about it. We're moving forward, right? It's a new chapter. It's being taken back over by people that care and, want to have that community feel back.
Yeah, I know Defiance and Augusta, obviously 2 different towns. Defiance, very small, fewer than 200 residents, and just having the buildings purchased and no longer being owned by direct local families. And I think right now there's still about a dozen buildings. That does shake up a community, and it can, I imagine, feel unsettling, unmoored from what it's always been. So you stepping into the Roadhouse, the Winklers with the general store, it's like trying to find that mooring again for a community that is small, but the roots run deep.
Yeah, really. I mean, we've had so much, so many locals stopping by on a daily basis and just so happy. And, you know, even in social media, people are everyone is getting very excited. They're honking their horns when they stop by. They're popping in to introduce themselves. It's very nice. And yes, the community is extremely excited.
Marla, before we let you go, I'm sorry to, before we let you go to continue on your vacation, if you kind of look ahead 5 years from now, how do you envision the area that you're going to be a part of out there in Defiance looking? What is your vision or fellow owners of places, establishments out there, what are they looking ahead to?
I think Defiance is growing as a community. There's a lot of people that I talk to from Chesterfield and nearby, a little east of Defiance, that are coming and building custom barns and buying property. And I think Augusta is just going to be growing. I mean, Defiance is just going to be growing as a community. It's all of the 3 buildings will definitely be occupied, and it'll be fun again. It'll be that place, that destination, where everyone stops by before and after the wineries.
Marla Khan, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for, we know where you are. We know where you're on vacation, and we can't believe you stopped it to talk to us. So it was awesome to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Absolutely.
Marla Khan, leasing to own Wenty's Roadhouse in Defiance, also already owner of Wenty's in Chesterfield, with us on KMOX. Defiance is, in case you're wondering, if you live in the city, you're one of those city folk that doesn't like to cross rivers like me, 40 miles, 40 minutes. Takes 40 minutes to go out the way. It's not that bad at all.
And it's beautiful.
Defiance
Get out there on a Saturday. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely.
All right. That's Amy Marks Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. I believe Amy has something to tell you here on KMOX.
I absolutely do. Okay, if you are in your house right now and you're looking at your windows and wondering, I think these need to be replaced. Common signs that your wood or vinyl windows need to be replaced, like drafts, maybe hot rooms, cold rooms, fog between the glass, difficulty opening and closing the windows, and obviously leaks. That all happens. I mean, vinyl windows can warp, they can bend, they can crack, and seasonal temperatures, and goodness knows St. Louis has seasonal temperatures. And this can lead to things like seal failure, fogginess between the glass, like I said. And I think we've all had that room where like, oh, I don't open the windows, it's hard. That's because they're warped and it's hard to open and close them. Well, Renewal by Andersen has spent hundreds of thousands of hours, nearly 30 years, researching and developing Fibrex material. Fibrex material offers the look and feel of wood without all the maintenance. There is no scraping or painting needed, and it is 2 times stronger than vinyl. It won't bend, it won't warp, and it won't crack. You need to call Renewal by Andersen. And in May, you can save $279 on every window, $729 on every patio door, 0 payments, 0 interest for 18 months. 314-720-9200, 314-720-9200.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are 2 things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
I'm Listening reminds you that you are not alone.
and that talk saves lives. And now it's even easier to reach out and talk to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline with 988. 988 is just like 911 for emergency services. When you call or text 988 from any phone, you will be connected directly with trained counselors in over 200 crisis centers nationwide. They can get you the help you need anytime, anywhere. Talk saves lives. And with 988, talking is only 3 digits away.
Sponsored by Compass Health Network. We're here for you.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Do you limp out of bed with a sharp pain in your heel? Maybe it feels better when you start walking, but then bam, feels crippling when you get up from sitting again? That could be plantar fasciitis. This is Debbie Monterey. Take my advice and seek out the doctors at Feet for Life Podiatry for their decades of expertise with heel pain. Their advanced non-invasive procedures offer quick recovery times so you can enjoy your summer pain-free. Visit feetforlife.com for an appointment or ask for a virtual visit if you're out of state. Feetforlife.com.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-574-6468 and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-574-6468. Call now, and you will receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-574-6468 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-574-6468.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Summertime is the best time to enjoy the outdoors and enhance the appearance of your home. Banner Construction can make your home the showplace of the neighborhood with maintenance-free James Hardy siding and beautiful Pella replacement windows. Drive up to your home with a renewed pride. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. Get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. 314-569-1050.
Ordinary radio is overrated. Extraordinary radio now. Chris and Amy on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Text messages 314-436-7900. Driver Joe says, for the 618 tournament, we've got to put Cahokia Mounds on.
Oh, my gosh.
Obviously, Cahokia Mounds will be in that tournament.
Might be a number 1 seed.
Cahokia Mounds?
Yeah.
You know what? It could be.
I think the strip club should be number 1 seed.
It could be. Yeah.
What else?
When you had Kevin and Dave talking about baseball fields over in Sauget, I'm like, I ain't never seen no baseball fields over in Sauget. It's just two places right next to each other, and I think one of them you can get beaten up at. But where is the one? Isn't it? That's where. Oh gosh, which Cardinals player got in a fight there? It wasn't Carlos Martinez, was it?
Oh,
there was a Cardinals player that got into a fight.
Was it who had the knife? Who kept getting stabbed with a knife?
That was Tommy Pham. He had been stabbed, and he threw that in casually once, and it was like, I've been stabbed. Like, what? I'm sorry, what?
What?
It was Carlos Martinez.
It was Carlos.
But didn't Tommy Pham get stabbed again? I think he had 2 stabbing incidents.
And also, you know what? Forget you people who are texting into the show, trying to get us in trouble. trying to tell us to say things that rhyme with the Michael Buffer line that we can't say because we'll get sued.
He outlawed rhyming. That's what they don't get.
He outlawed rhyming with his thing.
Yeah.
With his phrase, his catchphrase.
You can't say anything that rhymes with it.
Will this be another Donald Trump lawsuit that he's involved in because he wrote it in all caps on his Truth Social? So
can we say it if we put 4 words in between each one? Like let's, oh, say, can you see, get by the dawn's early light?
Rumble? I don't know.
Ooh, you forgot a word.
Yeah, I did.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes. So you can decipher what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
if you don't get it by
sued.
now, I don't think you. I think this show's not for you.
It is not for you. But the show really is for everybody.
It is for everybody. Michael Buffer is just a litigious tyrant who won't let us say a phrase that he used to say in 1991 before boxing matches.
That's right.
And it's on Jock Jams, if you had that, which I did.
Everybody had the Jock Jam CD. Anybody who was alive in the mid-90s had the Jock Jam CD. I had it. It was a good one. You mentioned a David Copperfield story that I have just now mentioned?
Well, yeah.
Or
so
just now seen?
David Copperfield.
The magician.
The magician, yeah, not the Charles Dickens character, which is also my favorite book.
Of course.
David Copperfield, the magician. It is. I've read it like 20
Amy,
times.
you don't have to tell us. We know.
Such a good book. I finished. The show ends. I'm still talking about the book by Charles Dickens.
Anyway, David Copperfield, the illusionist.
Yes. He has been accused of sexual assault by 16 women, sexual misconduct, inappropriate behavior. More than half of the allegations are from women who said they were younger than 18 years old at the time of the incident. Some said they were as young as 15. Some of them have corroboration by family members at the time who said, we saw him do this to our 15-year-old daughter and we said something and nobody listened. And he is denying everything, but it's an investigation from The Guardian.
Which they've been working on for several years, apparently.
Going through documents, court records, all of these different things. And so it does not look good. It separately, this is a totally different thing, but he has also faced scrutiny because Copperfield has faced scrutiny because of his association with Jeffrey Epstein, which doesn't seem to bode well for him.
Oh, boy. David Copperfield's a creep. That's wild.
Wild. I don't know. I've never liked David Copperfield. He looks.
I liked
suspicious.
the magic. When I was a kid, I loved that he made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Did he?
Yeah, it was gone. Don't you remember that? Does nobody remember David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty go away?
It sounds vaguely familiar. Again,
it was
I'm not a big
television event.
I'm not a big magician. Magic, illusionist.
I don't like magic either.
You like this, though?
What? No.
Illusions?
Well, I liked when the statue went away. That was cool.
So what is that if not magic?
What I don't like is the shows where people do magic in your face.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, get out of here with your stupid magic.
Yeah.
I don't want you, like that stupid Carbonaro effect or whatever that
They're
was.
Like talented. Well, this is going to sound bad. They're like more talented clowns. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like clowns who do tricks.
Yeah, I don't need you to go away with your magic.
Yeah.
Your dumb magic. I don't like it.
Wow, this is rude. You are alienating the magicians in our audience.
No, you should perform magic in the venue assigned to you. You don't get to step outside your venue. Do it in your house. Do it in your house. Or if you're selling tickets, you could do it there. But you can't do it on the street in my face.
Yeah, no, that's a little much.
Anything you missed in the show today, boy, oh boy, is it on the Odyssey app. AUDACY. Download it and listen. Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji back with you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning on KMOX. Here comes Glover.
And one kid shoves the other kid in the hallway and said, "You want to do this? Let's go out."